We're in the 2023 Lexus LS 500. This is the F Sport and all-wheel drive, coming in at little under $90,000. They have updated this for 2023 in the most important way, and I'm going to explain why this large luxury sedan is a complete steal here in 2023. The biggest upgrade is actually under the hood. So let's pop this long aluminum hood on this huge sedan. Yes, it lifts itself with the shocks. Twin turbo V6. You might be saying, Kirk, we've had this same engine in the LS since 2018 with this newest generation. And I would say touche, but even though the power numbers and all the figures remain the same, they have done a couple things to this to make it V8 worthy, I would say. 316 horsepower, 442 pound-feet of torque. I got about 25, 26 miles per gallon driving out here with a 10-speed auto. This is the all-wheel drive model, and it's the only way you can get the Torsen limited slip differential. It's placed in the center, so it affects all the wheels, and that Torsen limited slip is not available in the rear-wheel drives. But the biggest change for 2023 is that they changed the piston. They've given it some sort of lip design. Not only does it reduce emissions, but it now idles smooth as butter like a naturally aspirated V6. Maybe not quite as good as the V8, but the power and the torque makes up compared to the naturally aspirated V8s of the past. So let's close this and talk about the exterior design. With the F Sport, we have a unique front end. Not only do we have the mesh pattern grille on the front, which is different than the more elegant lacy design on the non-F Sports, we have these big intakes on each side of the grille, and we also have a darkened chrome on the front bezel as well. As we go to the side, we have more F Sport cladding with this big plastic mesh piece, but we have nice chrome or darkened chrome at the bottom. And these headlights were introduced in the 2021 refresh. They're not quite as elegant as the old eyelash style headlights, but they've been reshaped to allow for the Lexus Teammate Level 2 driving. That is not available on the twin turbo V6. It's only available on the hybrid, unfortunately. So we come around to the side, we have these beautiful dark glossy, I think they call these vapor chrome, if I remember correctly from my Lexus sales days. These are stunning wheels, and then behind the wheels we have 6-piston brake calipers and massive discs on this F Sport. The F Sport will either come with summer tires or all season tires. We'll find out if these Bridgestone's Turanzas can put down the power here in a little bit. F Sport badge on the side. This paint color is called Ultra White. It is a premium color. It's only available on the F Sports. Now we have that shadow chrome or dark chrome down at the bottom, but unfortunately we don't have it on the windows, and this is something Lexus has dropped the ball on, probably on a lot of F Sports up until recently when they started blacking out the window surrounds or the daylight openings, whatever you want to call it. And they have the bright shiny chrome on the mirror where that should be darkened as well. You can see the big panel roof. We'll get a better look here in a little bit. And also on the handles, we have that bright shiny chrome. Wish it was darkened there because it's darkened everywhere else. So, all right, as we come around to the back, the F Sport has this blacked out here. These taillights haven't changed since the 2021 refresh, which is fine with me because I think they look great. And while we don't have the dark chrome around the windows, we actually have it on the trunk lid here. Dual exhaust looks pretty solid on each side. Just an all-wheel drive badge here, and we're gonna open up the trunk. Of course, it's automated in a luxury sedan of this caliber. And we have a massive trunk in here, no surprise. I'll put exactly what the cubic feet is for you guys. And since the introduction of this new LS, there is no spare tire. So this is how you jump start the car if you need to. There's your 12 volt, very easy to get to. I'm sure it's super easy to replace as well. A little reminder that we got the Marky Mark Levinson on the inside. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get in the back seat. Been taking my kids to school, picking them up as well. Yeah, it's another Queen's car for them. It's not as elegant because it's F Sport with the suede and red seating, so it has more of that aggressive nature to it. So they haven't called it the Queen's car, but it's that caliber of Queen's car for sure. Check out this nice door. Now, unfortunately in this F Sport, I don't have sunshades on the side. I do have it in the back, but not here. Now this is super high quality material, feels leather-like, and we also have the amazing headliner in here. The back seat, of course, you're gonna have the mirrors that I think the girls have played with because it's awfully dirty there. And you have this beautiful exclusive Mark Levinson speaker grille as well here in the back. We have this diamond plated aluminum, which looks so much better in here than it does in the LX, where it's just kind of like these strange lines on the LX with the aluminum. Here they've given a nice texture and a nice pattern that feels more luxurious. Would I prefer carbon fiber? Absolutely. And this still always gets me on the LS is the floating armrest here to give you guys just a better sense of space in here. The doors kind of feel wider than they are with this floating armrest. The beautiful stitching with the suede inserts, it's just very high quality. We have a nice vent behind the speaker. We also have vents down here as well. 12 volt, no surprise, and then a huge drivetrain hump here to send power to the rear wheels. Beautiful double sunroof here. It's not the largest, but it gives us more soft touch suede up here with the Mark Lev and the mirrors here. Fold this down. You can pop out the cup holders there. You can move this seat forward if you want, which I'm not going to do because my bag's up there. I don't want to smash it. I can also control the sunshade from back here. You can keep that up. And then opening this, we have two USB-C chargers in here. Nice felt lined armrest. These seats are super comfortable. I have plenty of headroom. 6'1", my head's still not touching, and I have tons of legroom here in the LS. Soft touch to the seat here. We have some of the biggest largemouth bass mat pockets here I think I've ever seen. They're on both sides. Also, if you're getting chauffeured around, the kids also struggle to shut the door sometimes. Even on this LS, you have the soft closing doors. It's not as fast as some of the competition out there, but it's still super luxurious, soft closing. Love it. All right, let's get on the inside because, well, you know what? We're gonna move it to the shade because it's gonna be a little too bright in here. I'll put it in reverse. The sunshade comes down automatically. We don't have a 360 camera on this F Sport, which, I mean, we have the parking sensor, so I could live without it. It's not a deal breaker for me. But yeah, I actually don't like the bendy screen. Super wide angle, I prefer this because there's less distortion going on. All right, let's go ahead and park this and talk about some of the new changes here. So in 2021, they gave us a touchscreen, but it wasn't until 2023 that they gave us the newest software. So not only do we have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which you see on the screen here, if I go to the main screen, you're going to have you know, the new Toyota and Lexus interface, and you can you know, use this software, but pretty much I keep it on an Android Auto exclusively here. Also for 2023, since we don't need the touchpad anymore to work with the old software, we have dedicated buttons for the heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel. Previously, you'd have to touch a button somewhere in here to bring it up, and then Climate Concierge would do it all for you. Thank God that's not an issue anymore. All these buttons are to us. Now, you can see this glossy black here. This is unfortunate because in every non-F Sport trim, you have beautiful wood or foil or Carico glass. You just have other high quality trims here. We just have this piano black here that takes away from the luxury. Lexus, put your aluminum that you have on the doors or put some carbon fiber in here. This is unacceptable in my opinion. It's the only thing that really makes me mad in this LS interior on this F Sport. It just deserves so much better than cheap piano black. Now we have USB-Cs that's also new for 2023. Now these seats have over 20 adjustments to them, and it's insane for this F Sport. You can do the headrest control. Like it's just insane. I haven't played with it a whole bunch, but yeah, these have been a little bit too aggressive for my liking on the way out here, but I think they're all the way out. Yeah, they were all the way out to begin with. So just know that these F Sport seats, they may hold your legs a little bit tight here at the bottom, but the rest of the seat is supremely comfortable. Now Lexus also decided to keep the clock. Long live the Lexus clock. And we still have dedicated buttons, or should I say switches here for the driving modes. On the new NX and RX, and maybe in the LX, I don't remember. No, the LX has a dial for it, but the NX and RX have it built into the screen where you have to swipe through menus, and even the RZ has it as well. So I just love having this direct control always at my fingertips to control how the car behaves with the adaptive variable suspension, the sport modes, etc. Now we have the slidey gauge in here. That's Kirk's patented name for Lexus F Sport slidey gauge. It comes from the 2010 through 2012 Lexus LFA, or at least it's inspired by it. It's getting kind of old at this point, but hey, no one else has anything like this on the market, so I guess it still stands apart. It's not the highest resolution. It is pretty bright though, and I do wish it was a little bit wider. I wish it went all the way end to end digitally, but it is what it is. Now, we do have a massive head-up display on this. It is optional for the F Sport. It is on the last generation head-up display for Toyota and Lexus. I could definitely live without it. It's nice and wide, and it'll give you your radar cruise control and stuff in there, as well as your radio stations when you're changing them, but it won't sync with Android Auto turn by turn, or the built-in navigation. I couldn't get it to work with the head-up display either. Steering wheel is of course excellent here with the nice dimples, the perfect stitching, and the F-Sport logo. F-Sports always have aluminum pedals down here as well. There's also no start-stop engine function in here, which I absolutely adore. It makes this a so much more luxurious experience. Like right now, I feel no vibrations. I don't hear anything coming from the engine just sitting here. And that's also true when it's a cold start. You hear the engine a little bit more on a cold start, but my gosh, it's completely smooth now. You don't get that rough idle anymore like I had in the LX 600, for example, in older versions of the LS. They've fixed it. It's smoothed out. There's nothing for me to gripe about the engine anymore here on the LS, and I can't wait to let it completely loose on the streets here in a little bit. No digital rear view mirror here, unfortunately, but I think that's an option on the luxury grades, and a nice felt-lined sunglass holder here. And then you also have your sunshade and sunroof controls here. You also have a phone holder here, which I think doubles as a wireless charger, and you can take this little piece out so you can see it a little bit better, but we don't have a wireless charger on this particular model. And then I've been storing my drag meter in here, and you also have more USB-Cs and a USB-A in here for your devices. All right, driving the Alice. I'm a little bit off-road right now, taking a nice gander at these Frisbee golfers, frolfers. I think there's a few different words for Frisbee golf. And I'm just so comfortable in this car. Drove out all the way out here. Like, this would be an amazing road trip vehicle. Even with these 20-inch wheels and kind of run flat tires, like, it's still very, very smooth, very comfortable. And yes, I can even make it more comfortable by going into comfort mode, just twisting this, and it says I'm in comfort mode over here. Makes it a little bit softer, but it compromises in the handling. So maybe if you're just on a long stretch, you put it in comfort mode, but I keep it in normal mode, or if I want to have a little fun, twist it into Sport Plus. So normal, Sport Plus is pretty much all I use in this vehicle. Around town, keep it in normal mode. And yeah, the steering is very light in here, and it stiffens up in Sport Plus. Oh, it's just so buttery smooth. I love the LS. And the last, okay, so I drove two big, large sedans that are competitors to this recently. One being the Audi S8, which is like 40 grand more than this, maybe more, somewhere around there. Which that had the V8 in it, and my gosh, it was so fast. Like, I wanted to be buried with that engine, that twin turbo V8 with nearly 600 horsepower, if I remember correctly. Like, it was just an absolute missile. This thing is very fast as well. We'll find out in a little bit. And I also tested a Genesis G90, the newest one. It only comes like in one trim level, and that's $100,000. And it does come with tons of luxury features, especially in the back seat. But honestly, like, I'd be happy to save a little bit over 10 grand here and go with the F-Sport LS. I think it looks better than the Genesis G90, at least from a performance end. Like, the G90 just looks kind of regal, very old school, as my daughters would say, the Queen's car. I'm so happy Lexus has smoothed out the idle. I didn't think that was possible, honestly, because they had the rough idle so long with the twin turbo V6, and it just left such a bad taste in my mouth on the LS that I just, you know, I probably put it in not the best light, but then now they fixed it, and there's honestly nothing for me to harp about, especially like I don't have to run through the menus now to get to my heated seats and whatnot. So like, thank you so much, Lexus, for fixing the small things on this vehicle that just drove me nuts. Now there's nothing on it that drives me nuts other than the glossy black here. It hasn't blinded me yet, but I think this did earlier, which is it doesn't matter if you get the base LS or spend on the executive edition and get, like, you know, the Crico glass. This glossy black around the volume tuning knob combo, which is genius, by the way. I love that feature on here. It's always glossy black. Put some leather here, put any other material other than glossy black, and it would have been amazing here on these. Even though we have the upgraded brakes in here, it does take some getting used to. Kind of at low speeds, they're very touchy and sensitive. I think the predictability of the brakes is a little bit better on the non-F-Sport models, but I like how these brakes look, and I like how they perform. They stop very, very well. So we got a little twisty turn up here, not a lot in Florida, right? So I put it into Sport Plus mode. I don't feel anything change really in the car. It feels a little bit stiffer. I'm gonna take this with a little bit of gusto here. Not too much, right? Because we're in town and we have car transports around here. It just feels very plain and very smooth. I did push this much harder earlier, and it's still at its limits. You can feel its weight. It does, you know, move around quite a bit as well. At its limits, it's still a luxury, large luxury heavy sedan. But when pushed at about 70–80%, it feels really, really good. Any past that, you definitely feel its limitations as a sports car. We have these large paddle shifters, the aluminum paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel that feel great. They're massive. They feel exactly the same as they do in the LC 500 with the 5-liter V8. Would have been amazing for the F Sport to have the 5-liter V, I guess. It would be. Here's what I would want for Lexus if they were bringing the V8 in, is give this an F Sport performance model with the 5-liter V8. It doesn't need to be a full-blown F. Just give us that option, and they never have, and I don't think they ever will, unfortunately. But pedals down maybe 50%, and it's just so buttery smooth, so quiet as well. You get a little bit of feedback from the engine giving you a good snarl, but we're gonna get on the brakes hard here. Not 100% because I don't want to throw up, but yeah, grip for days. We're gonna do a quick 0 to 60. We're gonna put in a Sport Plus mode, torque brake. Doesn't launch that hard. That didn't feel honestly that quick. The drag meter says 5.66. Lexus says this can launch in 4.6 seconds. So I don't know, maybe I need to turn off traction control, but that was not, I mean, the engine's up to temperature and everything too, so I don't know what was going on there. You know, this street or this road sometimes doesn't have the best grip, but that was very unimpressive, I would say, for an LS with over 400 horsepower and 440 plus pound-feet of torque. So we'll try that again. We'll take off traction control here. That might give us, you know, a little bit better chances at launching a bit harder. So back into the brakes, feel great. So much stopping power. Traction control turned off. Torque brake to the max. A little bit better there. Yeah, a little bit better. So that was 5.61. I don't know where, you know, maybe it's the rear wheel drive version that gets the 4.6. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed by that. It's like a 1 second difference versus the best figures that we've seen. It's 78 degrees. It's not like it's super hot out or anything. That time I got to 5.56, so still nowhere near. So I'm gonna stop doing 0 to 60s, hoping for a better result. You guys might think I'm crazy at this point, but it's so far off of the estimated numbers from Lexus that, yeah. Anyways, what is it like when you're already up to speed? I'm going about 60 miles an hour here. I'm just in normal mode, pedal halfway down. 10-speed picks the gear right away and you're off to the races. What about if you're going 50 miles an hour and you do full pedal? About the same delay. So it is responsive whether you go about half pedal or full pedal down when you need that passing power. So very impressive there with the 10-speed auto and its selectiveness. We're gonna get hard into the brakes again here. Yeah, they feel great. The sound definitely is pumped through the speakers, especially in Sport Plus mode. It's about half the volume when I'm full pedal down in normal mode, and I'm perfectly happy driving this in normal mode most of the time. I do like how it firms up a bit in Sport Plus, but really, normal gives you all the performance and the smooth nature as well. It's very comfortable and quiet. Driving about 65 miles out here on the highway. I have the sunroofs open, the sunshades open, and really the only air buffeting or a little bit of air noise I hear is actually through the large sunroof here. It's not that the air is coming in, that's where, it's not acoustic glass up there, I don't think, where it is everywhere else. So it's just very, very quiet from this standpoint. And when you close that sunshade up there, that nice suede headliner, you close it shut, you don't hear any of the wind noise from that top sunroof. And I feel like Lexus over the years has done a much better job with the harshness. When it first came out with the run flat tires, it was just a very firm for an LS experience, and you got a little bit more harshness compared to the outgoing LS. I don't have any of that anymore. Even here on the highway, and this road's notorious for being a bit junky. It's very smooth. I get a tiny bit of vibration at times through the gas pedal when I hit some roughness, hardly any through the steering wheel. So overall, the luxury's a 9 out of 10, if not a 10 out of 10 here on the new LS. And lastly, the Mark Levinson sound system is one of the best I've heard. There are some instances, and I noticed this on the NX with the Mark Levinson, so I think now it's an exclusive of the Mark Levinson thing, and one of the quirks. Certain bass frequencies sound, it's not rattly, but it sounds a bit fuzzy. But that's usually when that bass note is in isolation. When you add other frequencies and other notes to it, like voices and the mids and highs, like you don't hear that buzziness anymore. And it's only on certain songs like where you hear it. So it's a weird phenomena with the Mark Levinson that I'm experiencing in multiple models now. But 9 times out of 10, it's one of the best, if not the best sound system I've ever heard in a car. So crisp, so loud. It hits the highs, medium, and lows very, very well. The very deep lows, I feel like it could be improved upon, but that's pretty rare. Maybe only some hip hop and rap songs that go to the real deep lows, where I feel like, but that's only been one song that I've noticed. The rest of them hit so hard and sound so good. So anyways, Mark Levinson with the 20 plus speakers. Make sure you get it in your LS if you care anything about like high-end sound quality. If you're spending this much on a high-end luxury vehicle anyways, might as well spring the extra 2-3 grand for the Mark Levinson and call it a day. You're never gonna regret it. Weird phenomena has been happening, not only in this vehicle, I believe it happened also in the LX600, where I'm just like cruising, jamming to my songs, and then like all the audio just cuts out, and I don't know why. So hopefully this is just a bug that can be remedied through over-the-air updates with this new Toyota Lexus interface, but it's not the first time it's happened on this LS, and it's also not the first time it's happened in any Lexus. So please fix this, Lexus, because you have the best sound system possibly on the market, and then you have like mood-killing bugs in your software that just destroys the listening experience. Cranking the volume, nothing's happening. And it's not exclusive to SiriusXM because I'm playing here Android Auto, so my Amazon Music app, and still nothing happening from the audio system regardless of the volume knob moving around. Also with this software, if you're trying to listen to like a YouTube video or a podcast, sometimes through Android Auto, you can't adjust the volume to it. It's just one volume, and sometimes it's not loud enough, and sometimes you want to reduce the volume. So that's also a thing that I've experienced with this software in the past. Okay, so final thoughts here on the LS. Lexus has fixed it. It wasn't completely broken before, but now there's nothing for me to hate on it from a functionality standpoint with the touchscreen, the new software, the buttons here to interact with the heated steering wheel, the heated ventilated seats, and a smooth aft idle on the class of V8s now. It doesn't have the V8 sound and, you know, just make me feel so good inside a character to it, but it's supreme luxury now, and that's what it needed ever since it was introduced in the 2018 model LS. So finally have it here, and I'm just happy with these seats. They have a really long thigh extender here for my long legs, and I could be in this vehicle for a very, very long time and be comfortable, happy. I have everything I need here. Yeah, the LS is a bargain, under $90,000 for this F Sport. It's the way I would be going, but if you don't like the design or whatever, you can get the more reserved, more regal looking LS for about the same price as well, same performance, and better, I'm not gonna say better interior, but better trims and materials than this F Sport, because these seats are amazing, and I do like overall the design of this F Sport interior and exterior. Anyways, I gotta cut myself off. Let me know what you guys think about the LS, and has Lexus done enough to fix it in your eyes? In my eyes, in my experience, they've gone above and beyond. Now I just wish they would offer twin turbo V8. I wish they would offer, or the 5-liter V8. I'd be happy with that as well on F Sport performance. But I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Signing out from the Lexus LS 500 F Sport. It's a bargain here compared to its rivals that have all gone very upscale and expensive in the market. LS still holds an amazing value like it once did when it shocked the luxury sedan rivals in the late 80s and early 90s. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great one. And if you made it this far, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.